All right, let's transition down to the players. I think they'll get started here. They've kept their hands. Um, yeah, that's kind of all I
Both players
see.
maxed out on leyline bindings, so maybe we'll see some interesting leyline binding stacks here. A lot of ETB creatures.
That would be great.
Telling you, leyline bind, bouncing your own leyline binding with Yorion.
But that's what I'm saying. Why like the elementals version seems like it'd be so much favored, right? Even in those leyline binding stacks, like
Yeah. Although if Chris were playing a different 4-color build, he might have a card like Eternal Witness, which is notoriously good in these matchups, especially with Ephemerate, because Chris is playing. I mean, he's not playing Kahiri, he's playing Yorion, but he does have an awful lot of elementals, straight elementals as far as their creatures are concerned. Tutor targets for Flamekin. Chris has 4 caverns. That's a lot of caverns. Not relevant in this matchup.
None of them are
Good
as good as you at
fixing.
destroying them against their opponent when
Yeah.
they don't have 4.
All right, Chris opens on a Windswept Heath and a pass. Clint will pass it back with an Arid Mesa. Typical expected starts. Neither of these decks have a proactive turn 1 play, unless I can't imagine jamming Flamekin Harbinger on 1 is the play very often. Chris obviously looking for a Teferi this turn. This is the Naya Triome. It'll always be a Naya Triome to me. It's not a Jetmir's Garden. Naya Triome. I wish the art styles matched between the Ikoria borderless ones and the Capenna ones.
All right. See a draw here. Aldramari's Call into the hand.
Steam Vents pass. All right, no Ren in 6. Clint with a Shocked Stomping Ground. So interaction that Clint could have here. He has Dead Gone. He has 1. Oh, there's the Fire Ice. Yeah, he has 1 Brazen Power and he has Fire Ice. So icing that down. If Chris didn't have a turn 2 play, he probably doesn't have a turn 3 with 2 lands play. So nice heads up play by Clint. Cycle that ice, get a card. Delay Chris.
I believe that they call that time walking your opponent.
It worked. Chris got to play a sweet Secret Lair Forest. Clint has a lot of options here depending on what's in his hand. He's keeping it kind of tight so we can't see. Jam some Rhinos. Teferi could be good here. He's stopping him. Oh, I thought he was stopping him on his upkeep again.
Now we have 4 lands.
Yeah, there you go. Cavern. Jamming Omnath.
All right. Now we get some Rhinos.
Same size as Omnath. Let's go. Clint bottomed, I believe, 2 Omnaths and 2 Leyline Bindings there. Clint did say that he favored this version over the 60 card Rhinos. The presence of Omnath and some of these pitch elementals lets him grind a little bit harder.
Hot take. I would favor everything over 60 card Rhinos. I think that deck is garbage.
All right, Rhinos rumbling in. Oh, Chris is blocking. Definitely has a second Omnath. I cannot imagine blocking that way otherwise. Oh, he had to shock, so he had his only white and blue source were on the same land. So tied up at 15. Clint has 12 power Rhinos. That's so many Rhinos. The expected second Omnath from Chris.
probably expected fetch land too, right? Like,
Yeah, I would imagine. So it looks like Chris has subtlety. The flood is strand, so that's gonna put him to 19. Looks like he might. Is that a windswept heath in his hand?
it's really hard to see the foils at times, but I do believe that the far left card is a fetch land as well.
Yeah, it looks like he might have another flooded strand and a windswept heath. No shortage of fetches. It looks like. Untapped plains. So usually you see solitude.
Soldier kind of awkward here. Doesn't block a Rhino very well.
It sure doesn't.
Although, as long as the Omnath lives, you could obviously blink it again. So, yep, Solitude it is. Go ahead and eat a Rhino.
So Chris has Eludami's Call and then Endurance in hand. Endurance, like I said, a little awkward in this matchup. Doesn't really trade for anything. Clint doesn't actively use his graveyard.
And the subtlety as well, pretty awkward. We mentioned in the previous round against Rhinos. The power of those spells is going to come in when Clint is trying to do something other than play Rhinos.
Yeah, with his backup plan with the Omnath and the Elementals. So here we see a Fury.
Oh. This is.
Chris must not have a blue card for that subtlety, or maybe doesn't. I'm not sure what's in his hand. Another Endurance. Omnath number 3. Okay, I think that's the one I thought was a windswept heath, because that orange on the side looks like the new Expo Heath. That card that he drew is definitely an Expo Heath. Alright, so more Omnaths. Does Chris have a second forest? Chris is only on 1 forest.
I think I saw Chris with 2 planes in play earlier today, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true?
1 planes.
1 planes, okay.
Yeah, so we could fetch a second forest here, by YoRhinos and play Endurance, which does trade for Fury. So he just opts to play the Heath and pass.
Interesting.
Yeah, he also can't Eladamri's Call. He could have tapped his mana in a way, leaving the
Triumph
up rather than the Steam Vents, and be able to. Oh, so Fury attack there's a 4/4 because of the Exalted from Ardent plea. Suspend Rhinos. I wonder how many Rhinos Clint has suspended today, and how many have actually come off suspend.
I'm pretty far ahead here.
Looks like he has double Force of Negation. Is that correct? So Clint's hand, Force, YoRhinos, question mark. Catch a try on the draw for Chris. This Fury looking a little dangerous if Clint draws another Violent Outburst. Getting hit by a 5/4 double strike Fury could be quite a surprise. We're even rumbling in with a Rhino and a 4/3 Fury.
Yeah, Chris's draw was kind of mopey for what his deck is capable of doing.
A lot of Omnaths and not a lot of other proactive action. I mean, I guess he did have the Solitude. Clint YoRhinos here. If that's his best option next turn, just resetting a Fury. Still killing an Omnath. It's not a bad trade.
Calling. Force.
Yeah, that makes sense. Those forces have not a lot of targets in Chris's deck. Tram tapped, add 4, use it to buy Yorion. He has a 1 floating. Pass. Interesting. Chris could have chose to play the Yorion there and just blink the Omnath just to draw a card. The Yorion could actually present an interesting board state for Clint. Here, the Fury attack is pretty free. He can't profitably block up Omnath, and then the Yorion that Chris knows about in Clint's hand can reset that Fury to kill the Omnath.
Yeah, I was gonna say I expect both to attack here. I think the reason for the double. What is this?
Oh, the endurance.
Ooh. Endurance yourself when you have had that many Omnaths die?
It's a consideration.
Oh, did he draw the Violent Outburst? Is that why the double attack is even better?
That'd be pretty spicy.
That'd be sick.
He if he had an outburst, he should wait for blocks, right?
Oh, it's a Leyline binding.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, is it though?
All right, and there's the subtlety. Pitching the Yorion.
I was close. It was basically a Leyline binding.
Yeah. Yeah, see, if he would have just attacked with the Fury, I mean,
You still double block and lose the Fury, right?
True. Yeah, you're right. Now Clint's Yorion has no value. Just a 4/5 flyer.
Well, no, because he's got the Solitude on top of his deck. So the Solitude's going to be able to come down.
Oh, you're right. Still a couple turns off on those Rhinos.
I don't under.
Chris should be at 9, right? Like, didn't he take 4 from that Rhino?
Maybe not. Maybe. I actually am confused.
Should I go ask?
Yeah, go ahead and ask the players. While he's going, we're gonna see Exile here. Attack. It's 5. All right, looks like the players are discussing life totals, just making sure that we get it right. All right. You get it fixed?
Okay. No, they were good. He took the damage, marked it on his pad, and then rewrote it up as he played a fetch, or as he played a land on his turn. Endurance again. All right. I made a comment how the endurances didn't kill things. Well, they don't kill Rhinos, but they kill Solitudes and Furies, or get eaten by Solitudes. right, looks like that's gonna do it. Game 1 over to Clint.
It's pretty big for Clint that the draws there were the way that they were. I think. Really, I think it's pretty important for Clint to win.
Game 1.
Yeah, in game 1, exactly.
He shuffled his YoRhino, and we'll see if he finds it during sideboarding and puts it back in the companion zone. All right, so from the board, looking at Chris's deck, he has some Chalice of the Voids. Those are going to be good. Damping Sphere could also be good. EEs, Clean Up Rhinos. He has a Flusterstorm and a Mystical Dispute. That's a lot of board cards.
Mystical Dispute seems especially good in this matchup. It's something that answers to Fairy. It answers, additionally able to stop the Risen from coming down. It seems pretty important.
Yeah, Clint has 4 Mystical Disputes in his board as well, so we're gonna see a lot.
Oh, sorry,
Chris has a dispute.
I was adjusting.
Yeah.
It's not every day that one of the commentators has to also run the stream and.
Yeah, so we definitely expect these 4 Mystical Disputes from Clint. The rest of his board, not really anything here.
No, I don't think that you board in basically anything else here.
No.
Hopefully we have a Yorion. Oh, well, there it goes.
There he is. He's back.
He did it. He did
Congrats,
it.
Clint,
He did it. Yay.
I was telling him I feel like that's a little hard to forget because as you shuffle that 80 card monstrosity, you think about Yorion. You're like, why am I doing this to myself? And you're like, oh yeah, the noodle. So Chris selecting his sideboard cards. He has not put in that EE in this pile of cards to board in. Still sitting at the front. Oh, he had 2, so maybe put 1 down.
Yeah, there's not a lot of boarding, looks like, here. At Clint, we can see boarding in 4 cards. We can go down to the...
Yeah, definitely 4 disputes. Chris did put the EEs in his pile. So, as expected, Chris bringing in 2 Chalice, 2 EEs, a Flusterstorm, and a Dispute. Or no, is that the subtlety?
I think Clint has really won the playmat game this weekend.
Fantastic playmat.
Yeah, it's one of a kind.
Is it one of a kind?
It is, yeah.
How is it one of a kind?
There's only one.
Oh, I thought there was more.
No, not the playmats. Wristbands and T-shirts and stuff, but playmats are expensive, man.
I thought maybe it was one of a kind because it has like the stitched edge.
Oh, I mean the stitched edge.
The stitched edge is nice.
Yeah. Am I biased for rooting for players on coverage that have sweet playmats?
It might be a little biased if it's your playmat.
That's fair.
You just want to see more of your playmat in the top 8.
Exactly,
Did you launch your poll?
I did launch my poll.
All right.
I only included, for those wondering why there's only 4 players, I only included the 4 undefeated players. I feel like they've earned their time on coverage.
Yeah, we've only had 2 of them on camera throughout the day.
Yeah. Oh, really quickly, while these players are sideboarding, we can cut back and quickly talk about what probably ended up happening. So it does look like, from what I saw, that Adam drew.
Okay, Adam drew with Zach. Zach, who has, I think he's lost in the finals of 3 RCQs.
Yeah, so we did see one pair of X1s, I believe, draw.
Yeah, they're the ones with the highest breakers. They felt comfortable, so they probably drew into 7th and 8th, correct?
Yeah.
And then we'll see the 4 undefeated players,
and then
3rd through 6th, and then
a bunch of players very sad.
Yeah, tough tournament. 59 people. 59 people and a bunch of
There's
draws
actually 60
in the middle rounds. Oh, was there 60?
Yeah, Skylar Stewart, I think, dropped pretty quickly.
Oh, okay. 60. So, yeah, 60 players right near that cutoff for the 7th round, and a bunch of unintentional draws in the early rounds of the tournament made for a pretty interesting event.
All right, it does look like we're getting a mulligan from Clint. Never asked him. Does he prefer Clint or Clinton?
Clint. I don't think I've ever called him Clinton.
He wrote Clinton on his deck list.
Well, that's his name.
That's fair.
He also wrote his DCI number on his deck list, but you know.
I was buying a car, and they asked me for my social security number, and they came back and they're like, "Hey, are you sure this is your social?" I looked at it. I was like, "Yeah." They're like, I think it's a number short, man." And I was like, "That's because that's my DCI number."
You know you played too much Magic when. Oh, that's great. I lost my original DCI number. I had like a shorter one.
Did it?
It didn't have like the 10 digits.
Sure.
I think it had 8. I'm not super cool. I'm not Muranaka. That was like a 4-digit one. All right, so turn 1 Chalice from Chris. Also a Naya Triumph. Naya gang. How do you feel about jamming Chalice on 1?
On 0.
On turn 1.
Oh, on turn 1. When are you gonna do it?
So you can hold it, and you can play it on the turn before they can do things, right? You're giving them a more opportunity to draw force negation, but you're also taking away opportunities to do things like Brazen Borrower.
Doesn't is force negation non-creature?
Yeah, it's
okay.
a negate, super negate.
That's right. Okay, I'm thinking of Flusterstorm. That's
Flusterstorm's only instant or sorcery. Oh, Christmas the land drop. So he kept on the strength of Triome, Growth, Chalice.
I actually don't hate that keep. I don't love the keep, but I don't hate the keep.
Yeah. See, and now Clint has turn 2 Leyline Binding with mana up.
Leyline Binding be a card, man. Like,
it's real good. Yeah, the fact that it's another answer to Cascade, or for Cascade decks against problematic permanents, and really like, that's brutal.
Now that's what we call a time walk.
Did he miss on the land as well? Yep. Does he have 7 or 8 in hand? Oh, he played the Chalice and he's on the play, so just let him set it.
All right, we're down taking this. We have 1 mana. We do have a 1 mana binding. Oh.
Chris points as abundant growth. I've been there. That's my growth, please, please. And Chris draws an Omnath for a turn. Oh, that is rough.
It looks like a pretty quick 2-0 here for Clint.
Yeah,
I don't see.
That's a rough start. Especially if this turn is bounce Chalice, make Rhinos, or even just jam an Omnath would be quite good. Yep. Oh.
If it's a instant speed one, right?
True. Yep.
That's the second time this happened this match.
I love the convenience.
It's way better for coverage.
And it happened with the Archon.
So 3rd time it's happened on coverage.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Just saving time. It's just the Magic Online version. Just cutting right to the chase.
There you go.
All right. Well, we'll see if Chris can battle back here at all.
Somebody hit the camera. I apologize.
Having the Teferi here really eliminates some of Chris's catch-up mechanics. I mean, he does have 4 Ephemerates, which could be quite potent with either a Fury or Solitude here, but Teferi puts an end to that. Fury would work, because you could clear out the Teferi and then do it and kill a Rhino, but does not clear 2 Rhinos.
Just revealed your hand.
At least it didn't get shuffled in. Do you know what the fix for that is? If you accidentally shuffle your hand into your deck?
What?
So the judge comes over, figures out how many cards you're supposed to have in your hand, and then your opponent gets to pick up your deck and pick what cards are in your hand.
Oh, wow.
Here's some lands. Which would be ironic considering how the start of this game went. Alright, so we're going to eat 1 Rhino. Clint's going to get some life.
Unfortunately, that wasn't a Fury, so you didn't get to do that sweet ephemerate play.
Yeah. Binding. Bind the Tef. So Pioneer doesn't get Abundant Growth, but they get Nihilist Presence, and Nihilist Presence adds all land types. It's pretty sweet.
Are we gonna start talking about that enchantment deck on coverage? Because
No.
okay.
No, we don't have to. It'll be really interesting if Clint has a binding here. But we haven't been able to see his hand. But if he has a binding here, he gets the Teferi with the reset, which is pretty hot.
Looks like a land plus a. Is that a binding? Did he just draw a binding?
It's an Otawara. So he has Otawara, Solitude. Otawara is so good. That also very much shuts down Ephemerate. Okay, that's a Fury. So Chris has a binding and a Fury. Looks like Clint also has a Fury. He didn't want to just jam it as a threat.
I'll be really impressed if Chris is able to make a comeback here.
Yeah, definitely an option. I mean, I feel like that usually it's happened before. It's happened to me, and I've done it where I'm like very behind in like a 4-color mirror. This is not quite a 4-color mirror. Clint has a lot of pressure. Ooh, full price dispute on the binding, but keeps the Rhino alive.
So we're going to 9 here.
Yep.
Fury, pitch, kill.
It looks like Chris marked the 9 on his life pad, but just not on the.
Yeah. You got some eyesight, man. For a guy with glasses.
I lean forward. I'm a bit surprised to see Clint having forces, considering how heavily Chris is on creatures. But I guess it's pretty rough to get Teferied. All right, so Clint finally plays his no value Fury just as a threat.
Oh wow!
Another 2-for-1.
Clint's like really kind of able to choke. I mean, the resources that are getting choked here are now in multiple ways, right? We don't have our land drops, and we're 2-for-1ing ourselves.
Yeah. It's like Clint drew a Fire Ice. We'll buy the YoRhinos, and then just Ice Chris probably. Do you think he holds that Fire Ice? Nope. He moved to the front. He's icing him. Sure. Yep. Yeah, Ice the one that taps for 5 colors.
Man, another missed land drop. What a wild.
It's so disheartening to lose win-ins like that. It's rough. Has a Solitude, an Otawara, the YoRhinos. All right, we found a forest. And a Tef.
Oh, that's gonna get forced.
Yeah. Oh, and a Beseju. That is huge. Teferi's back. Cascade's back on the menu.
Specifically, rhinos are on the menu. And I've never eaten rhino, but I bet it's delicious.
We do not condone eating rhinos. Fury's favorite food, I think.
Many much cuts are happening. What you do as a judge when you see players do that? Do you tell them that that's not how you cut a deck?
At Comp RL, like
Yeah.
in, instead of shuffling, like
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah.
Just
ignoring it. You're just like whatever.
Yeah, I'd probably. They really should though. They really should shuffle.
You're like, I'll ignore it, but also
They really should. You don't want to believe that people are cheating in your events, but it's definitely something that happens. And by electing not to shuffle, you're just giving your opponent opportunities. All right, Chalice is back. And on that, can we rip a fetch? Trigger on the stack binding. Yup. Binding is so good. It's so good.
A co-host of Constructors and Mason Clark had it as his one of his hits in our Pick 2 set review. He said that he had no doubt that it was the best card in the set.
I told all my friends because Leyline Binding was on the spoiled list from the release notes, and I said this is the best card in the set before the set was even spoiled.
Yeah,
and it's quite good. I told my friends, they didn't get in on them early. They did not pre-sell for that much, like right as it got spoiled, and they've gone steadily up.
We did actually get the land too.
Oh, but off the Omnath. All right, we're looping Yorion with the fairy. Yorion loves the bounce house.
I'm a fan.
Clint does have Otawara up with Yorion, so 3 on tap.
Is that a Besiju? What is that?
Yeah, so we're Besajuing the binding here. Oh, Chris is at 5. If he doesn't have a land and goes to crack this to gain life with Omnath, he can get it bounced and is dead to Yorion. Not sure what that was.
I think he just accidentally played the... Oh man, he's gonna get him good too. If he tries to crack this. Oh no, he doesn't have the second card.
He cast the Otawara. I'm curious why Clint cast the proactive Otawara there. It might have just gone to end step and he chose to do it. But that also doesn't feel necessary because you can just bounce it with Teferi. Don't you feel so safe in Teferi's arms?
It took me years to get to like always remember that I couldn't cast instants with Teferi. Like he actually like the card was in standard, legal, and I like how many times do you think I played with or against that card? I still was like, ah, crap. Oh yeah. Those cards were annoying.
It's Narset for me.
Oh yeah, Narset gets me too.
Narset still gets me. Yeah. Binding to Teferi. Yeah, I'm really interested in what the sequence was there. Because obviously that was still in Chris's main phase. That.
Right, here we go.
Clint went to Otawara.
Go down to 4.
Yeah, but now Chris has an Omnath.
Does he?
Yeah, I got.
Oh, in the hand, yeah.
Clint still has the Solitude, but we might be looking at a couple extra turns. I feel like the Otawara should have locked it up. We've certainly turned into a game after Chris missed 30 land drops.
Yep, here comes the Solitude. And eat that. Put you at 8.
I think Chris might have an Ephemerate in his hand. That is an Ephemerate.
Oh man.
Solitude number 2?
That actually will be lethal if that is Solitude number 2. Because if it's Solitude number 2, then he'll only gain the 3 life. Well, then we'll end up with.
Yep. So I'll go to 8. Get hit for 10 next turn.
Yep. And that should do it.
Chris had Subtlety, but not a blue card. Rough.
That'll do it. Rough end for the tournament for Chris there. Yeah. We will be back with Clint to kind of talk about the match, talk about his help going into the top 8. Buttons aren't working, but you know what is working is some rhinos.
Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed. I really wanted those rhinos to come off as suspended so that I could rub it in Aaron's face. But
What I do?
You didn't do anything.
Oh.
He just was like, I wonder how many times that's happened, and he's never had them come off suspend. So I must ask, how many rhinos have come off suspend?
Oh, today?
Yeah,
Oh, like once, I think.
once.
Yeah.
That's a non-zero amount, to be
Yeah.
fair.
And I forgot a suspend trigger earlier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a good player. What can I say?
Top 8.
Yes.
Here we go. Prizes. I don't know if you know these prizes, man.
I haven't even looked at them, honestly.
All right, so first place is $1,000 $1,000 travel reward plus the invite. You pick your hotel, you pick your stuff. As long as it's if it's under $1,000 for the travel, you get the rest of the money in cash.
Sweet.
And then I believe it's 400 for second, 200 for top 4, 100 for top 8. So, you team no splits on this one?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I need to look at the breakdown. The split.
Second through 8 split for 142.
I feel like team no split probably
Woo!
this time.
Go team
You
no
know?
splits. What do you think of your deck? You excited for top 8 with this?
I think it's a good deck. I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know if it's better than regular 4-color. I did beat regular, like standard 4-color. It was elemental version round 5, but I just like having a clock. I mean, I just
Yeah.
like being able to actually end games.
What do you think that this, like, I will just give my opinion. I think Team of Rhinos, Wallace Sweet deck is easily the worst deck that people think is good in the
Yeah,
format.
it's not great.
It's basically only good when people don't have things to answer Rhinos.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be the case here. The backup YoRhinos kind of game plan leads to you having a plan for when people have an answer to Rhino.
Yeah, I really like the double Otawara, double Boseiju, like as like answers for Teferi and Chalice in the main, and then like you just get Solitude, Fury, and Omnath, and obviously Omnath's a nutty card. Like it's just such a good plan B. I mean, if you saw like game 2 against him, like or game 1, like even just like the Ardent Plea, you know, the extra text of Exalted is just super helpful.
Yeah. Do you find that you close out more games with Rhinos right now or with a Fury?
That's hard. Probably Rhinos still,
Okay.
honestly. But like I would say like being able to Solitude blockers after they've blocked and get the trample damage through has like been really relevant.
Yeah. So you should be one of the top 2 seeds.
Yeah.
Just looking at this, probably really helpful for your deck. Being on the play is really
It's
important
good.
with Rhino decks.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what you're looking at throughout the top 8?
I know there's 2 Breach, Belcher. I don't know who the other 4th one is that drew.
I believe that it is Archon.
Oh, really? Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm not really afraid of any of those.
Oh no, not Archon. It's Elementals. Marcy's on.
Oh yeah,
Marcy's
Marcy
on
Elementals.
Elementals. So, well, good luck in the top 8, sir. I might try your deck out. That was a lot more interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Than some of the other versions of Rhino. So, well, we're gonna be back in a little bit with top 8. Thank you so much, Clint.
Thank
if
you.
people want to find your stream, see where you're doing that, where's that at?
Yeah, I don't really stream, but my Twitter is Apeliotis TV, and I meme a lot on there with you. Of
I've
course.
seen you stream.
Every once in a while.
So, thank you so much, and we'll see you in top 8.
Thank you.